Jeremiah 18 to 22. For this video, I'd like to respond to a question that was sent my way, and this gets into some of the discussions we've had about idolatry and such. Why are the stars equated with Elohim? And they are. We've had some stories where, again, looking up into the heavens, the word that's used of these beings up here is not the expected word Elohim, but stars. Let's talk about that. Well, going back, this reminds us, going back into the original world of the Bible is an interesting experience. I think a fascinating experience would have been to stand alongside of these people looking up into the heavens with no streetlights. I'm sure it must have been amazing to see all that light. The Hebrew word shamayim is the word for heaven, translated as heaven, 400 times in the Old Testament. Notice it's plural. There's no occurrence of the word heaven in the Bible. It's always heavens. So the idea of the heavens tells us that we're not talking about a place as much as a direction. And so when we hear the word shamayim translated as heaven, we are often just saying that world above me, up there, from horizon to horizon. Dealing with the realm above the horizon, we have verses like Deuteronomy 32:26. There is no one like the God of Jeshurun who rides the heavens to help you. Our God rides the realm of the heavens. Psalm 115:3. But our God is in the heavens. Most translations have in heaven, but again, our God is in the heavens. He does whatever he pleases. It's not long before we have other texts that show up where now the items that are in the heavens, that is the stars, the moon and the sun even, are now equated with words like Elohim. Psalm 89:5-7. And the heavens will praise your wonders, O Lord, your faithfulness also in the assembly of the holy ones. For who in the heavens can be compared to Yahweh? Who among the sons of the mighty ones? So now, notice the parallelism between the heavens and the sons of the mighty ones. Can be likened to the Lord. God is greatly to be feared in the assembly of the holy ones and to be held in reverence by all those around him. So we get terms like holy ones, congregation of the holy, divine assembly, and then just simply the word Elohim or gods. Again, going back into their world and getting rid of some of the medieval traditions that we've had, we have to remember that they thought of these beings much like us. Remember, we share the image of Elohim. Humans and these beings share something. Well, probably share a lot. And a couple of verses that come to mind, Job 15:15. If God puts no trust in his holy ones, and the heavens are not pure in his sight, the idea that these beings are just as imperfect as we are. They can fail Yahweh, they can sin, they can do well, they can do poorly. In other words, there's differences. And then even 1 Corinthians 15:41, Paul makes this passing comment. There is one glory of the sun, another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars. For one star differs from one another, or from another star in glory. That again passes along a very common theme in the ancient world, that as we equate these beings with Elohim, they're very different. And you have brighter and lesser bright stars up there and so forth. Well, it's not surprising then that stars are eventually, or in many ancient texts, equated with gods because of, just think of the analogous similarities. They cover a vast space. They're uncountable. They're high. We can't reach them. They're bright. They're beautiful. They're well arranged. They work in force. They move, as it were, overnight. As we watch them, they move in a force or like an army. And so you have 19 times in the ancient, or in the Old Testament, the phrase the host of heaven, or the host of the heavens. And that word, if it's talking about these bodies, it can speak of stars. But when we get into discussions that show the worship of these beings, or the host of heaven, now we're talking the gods. And here's where the dictionary of deities and demons in the Bible could be helpful, or can be quoted. The worship of the stars in Israel must have been strong in the 8th century and later. Amos 5:26 deals with the idolatrous cult of Sikuth and Kaiwan. that is, quote, the stars of your God, where the two names are generally equated with the planet Saturn. The whole passage, and this is interesting, the whole passage is quoted in Stephen's speech in Acts 7:43. Why does Stephen, in the longest recorded sermon in Acts, quote this story of worshiping the stars? Well, it's he would say here, where the adoration of the golden calf is evidently interpreted as well in connection with astral worship. It says in Stephen's speech that God gave them up to the worship of the heavens. Among the causes, and here's where this quote would match our reading right now, the context of our current readings in the Bible. Among the causes of the fall of the northern kingdom, according to 2 Kings 17, are the cults offered by King Hoshea to all, quote, the host of heaven. In the kingdom of Judah, Manasseh would have been the first king to introduce idolatrous cults by building altars to, quote, all the host of heaven in the two inner courts of the temple. King Josiah fought against such practices. He burnt all the objects kept in the temple and associated to astral cults, dismissed and killed the priests who had been appointed to offer sacrifices to, quote, the sun, the moon, the constellations, and all the heavenly hosts. He also forbade ceremonial practices of sun worship instituted by the previous kings and destroyed the altars built by Manasseh. So we have just read about that in our biblical readings. The best book on angels is the book entitled Angels by Michael Heiser, and I'll just finish his discussion on stars. The point of star language for divine members of the heavenly host should be obvious. Why does a person equate stars with gods? The members of Yahweh's hosts are not of earth. They are celestial, transcendent beings whose home is in the heavenly realm, the abode of God. And of course, as Job adds, they aren't perfect.